Hey everybody, James here, going to take you through Silver Mountain targets and adding users to your system. It is a recommendation to use users as this makes running the system much more efficient and it saves issues when saving your strings at the end and assigning names and so on. And inadvertently, you can actually end up saving a string when you don't mean to if you're not using scorers. So the first thing we're going to do is log in as admin. And then we're going to go to the cog and we're going to go across to the little man again in the sub menu. This is users. So the first user we're going to create is a range officer. So you go new user and you just type RO. You can use lower or capitals, it doesn't matter. You just type in RO and you want to set the real name as range officer. Select OK. And you want to give them the range officer ticks box. This just gives them other functions that they can do throughout the day, like the timing and so on, saving strings and other things like that for the RO of the day. Now you want to create your scorers for your target frames. So we're going to go a new user and we're simply going to go 1S. And we're going to set the real name as T1 scorer. And we're going to do this for each one of our targets. So we'll do 2S, 3S, 4S, 5S. Now I'm not going to go through and set the real names for all of those because it's exactly the same as your T1 scorer. So after you've created all your scorers, you can start creating what I call a members list for members of your club. So I like to create these with an M and a number. So I just go M01, and what I'll actually do is set the real name of that club's members. So we'll call him or her Joe Blogs. So as you can see, member 01 is Joe Blogs. Now you keep going through creating new users, M02, 03, 04, so on, up to or exceeding what you currently have by maybe 10 members, so you've got room. And then what you do is the numbers that you're not using, set the real name as vacant. That way you know that there is no member in that number. So that way, if you do have a new member coming in, instead of creating a new member number, you can just go to one that's vacant, set real name, and this would be Joe Bloggs' brothers joined. So this would be John Bloggs. And as you see here, we now have John Bloggs as member 2. You can also create visitors. So you just go V1, and again, you'll just set the real names as vacant. And then when you have a visitor coming in, you can assign their name to it by just simply coming in as admin, selecting vacant, set real name, and this is John and Jill's sister. This is Jill Blogs. She's come for a visiting shoot of the day. Now we have members and a visitor. Time's gone by and John decided he doesn't want to be at the club anymore. That's simple. You can click on John's name, set real name, back to vacant. And as you can see here, our member name is now vacant under M02. So if a new member comes in, you can just assign their name to that member number, and then you're not continuously creating more and more members. So now what I'll show you to do is if you want to assign those shooters, if they're either F-class or target rifle. So when you create their names and numbers, they're automatically assigned as a target rifle shooter. So to change them over, you want to log out and log in as their member number. So we'll go M01 for Joe, and Joe is an F-class shooter. So we tick his box as F-class. So that means he'll be scored appropriately with X's and 6s instead of V's and 5s. You can do this for your visitor shooters as well. You can simply log out, put the visitor number in, and you can assign them or deselect them as using F-class. Now for bullet diameters, you may be asking that question, always leave it as 308. That means it doesn't matter if they're shooting a 223 or not. The target will recognize it as a 308 round, and if they're just on the line, it'll count. It's no different when you go a competition shoot and they put the 8mm rod in to see where you intersect the line. You always want to give people the benefit of the doubt and give them the larger caliber to shoot. Now that's how you add users and how you can change them from F-class to target rifles depending on the disciplines they shoot.